and welcome to another episode of Wrestler's Perspective. I'm your host, Kenny Steele, and this is my friend, I just found out, former show stealer, but still the show stealer, my friend Matthew Palmer. How's it going, man? Welcome to the show.
Hi. Good to be on here. Yeah, I've had like 12 different monikers, and so when people are like, what's your show moniker? What's your handle? It's like, is it Centerfold Steele? Is it Show Stealer? Is it Son of Anarchy? It's like, I don't have one. I don't know. What do you want tonight? Do you want a comedy gimmick? Do you want a serial killer? What do you want? I was like, can you just wrestle? I was like, there, I just met
Yeah, because everybody usually is always kind of just wanting this guy or that guy, and you're usually just kind of nonchalant, just like, all right, cool.
I'm basically just a character actor / journeyman wrestler.
Yeah,
That's all I am. It's like, what do you need? And it's like, I need a main eventer. It does this. Okay, well, you don't want the male model character. He's just Ben Stiller's Zoolander and somehow a babyface. Like, I would hate that character if I was a fan. Whatever. So.
Yeah, because even coming in here, this is like kind of like the perfect kind of shtick, because this is just, you know what I'm saying, kind of at your base core.
Yeah,
and
and
this
my
setup
Harry
is
Potter
dope.
stuff, and you can't see because the camera, but like it's on my D&D table with my castle Dungeon Master screen on the other walls, my Game of Thrones stuff. My bar is just filled with dragon skulls and things like that. And so, like, obviously, I am not a very masculine man. So, this is my domain, and it's Adrian's as well. Like, I would just have like a couple of books at
Right.
the wall, and she's like, "Let's get this and this and this." Like, all right,
Yeah,
I will put these things up for you. Like, I enjoy all this stuff. I love it. But, like, I'm too lazy to actually like do it and like buy this stuff and put it up. But she makes me.
Awesome. So yeah, and normally, it's so funny because even this idea is crazy. I was like, I know you're mostly reserved. A lot of people that I interview are, but I want to put you on a video. And we'll just do a talk show. And we'll talk about everything that you like. And you're like, all right, cool, man, sure.
Whatever. Basically, I just go through life with this, like, whatever. It's not even like go with the flow, man, type thing. No, it's just everything bad's already happened to me. You want to like go on the spot in front of a ton of people and maybe say something wrong and get trashed on social media? Yeah, I guess. Do that again this week.
Now, because I've met a few friends of yours, like your friend Jesse, and that was, and it's really weird. You guys have the most, like yin and yang friend relationship I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
and it's completely crazy. And he'll tell stories of how you've really never really been this reserved, but then I guess it kind of just developed, and just as the years go on, you just kind of been nonchalant, or have you always really been this way? Is he just boasting?
So he says I was never reserved?
Like, really just kind of like laid back. You're more kind of just, a little spry, bushy-eyed, bright-eyed, bushy.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've known each other since like 14, 15 years old. So after nearly 20 years of knowing each other, you kind of look at it going like, yeah, I'm kind of a bitter old man. Bright-eyed, bushy-tails. I gotta pay taxes. It's like, man, look at this whole new world I could just conquer.
Right.
I can't pay rent this month. That's not true. But like, no, I'm reserved because I grew up as a very, very shy person.
Oh, okay.
Like crippling shy. Like, put me in a group of people and I would just shut down, and I'm just like, just get away from me. And then I ended up going to theater in high school, and then I progressed to college and some actual outside school work, just to get over my shyness.
Right.
So Jesse knew me from just before theater, and we met in the church, which is hilarious if you know Jesse.
Yeah, it's really like, he's different.
Like,
he's different. A good guy.
Pro Jesus, pro God, love it, abstinent till married. It's like all great. Jesse, about a year younger than me. Just atheist. What drug do you have on you? Now it's in my mouth. And what's that? I'm going to sleep with a 40-year-old woman that we call old crazy at the Ren Fair, and I am only 13. Fine. And it's like
we do not advocate those types of activities, though. Here, we do not advocate those.
That may or may not be exaggerated. I know the name Old Crazy. I don't know the ages or anything like that. I just know they called her Old Crazy, so that just leaves it to.
Oh my God! It leaves it to the.
I know his first shot of alcohol and his first kiss were in the same moment.
Oh
so
my God!
So I really wish you were interviewing him.
You had to get the two of you on the show together.
He'll deny all of this and then take your phone away. So yeah, I was reserved. Theater loosened me up. Eventually, I became a wrestler. I'm forced to perform, but I think after 13 years of doing this, the performing is whatever. You just go out there and perform. Yeah. It's having to deal with people backstage. Hey Matt, since you're 185 pounds, under 6 feet tall, you're gonna wrestle everyone that's like you at once, every show ever. It's like, oh, that's great. Original booking there, every promoter ever. And so everyone's like, oh, I gotta get this move out. This. Well, what can I do this? It's like, I don't care. I don't care. It's like that after 13 years, just grind on you to where Nashville reserved. It's like he doesn't want to talk to people. It's like these 20-year-old kids that can do a shooting star press, just like nothing. And they have to get it in, all 17 of them in this match. And it's like,
get over, brother.
Brother.
What's they want, brother?
Somebody just pinned me. I just want to go home. It's cold here. Yeah,
but with that being said, and it's really great because you are a phenomenal performer. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get.
And it's like the moment you walk through that curtain, bro, it's just kind of like night and day. Like, you will be reserved and kind of to yourself and everything. But the moment you walk through that curtain, it's just character, motivation, driven, and it's highly impressive.
If you think about it, with my job, and I haven't taken as much bookings just because I'm getting old and I'm tired and beat up. Basically, I'm just hurt all the time. So if you think about it. All I have to do is I have to work out, have somebody make my gear, somebody else makes it, I don't even do that, and then I have to go and perform for about 15 minutes. So my work for a whole week, which wrestling is just really 3 days.
Right.
So 4 days if you can find a good drawing weekend or weekday show.
Yeah.
And it's it's grand total, I might work an hour.
Right.
So you think about it, it's I better perform like crazy for this hour this week. While everyone else is working their 45, 50-hour week jobs.
Oh, God.
I'm just sitting here going I gotta talk to this asshole. What do you want to do tonight, man? Well, let's just go out there and bang, man. Let's just do this. I can't do any of that. Can you do this thing with me? I was like, no, man, I'm weak in the knees. My back hurts.
It is very interesting because, again, you are a phenomenal storyteller. Going back to your theater and how that kind of really developed. Because you're very good.
I guess. I guess. Really, all my stories are the same 3 stories. It's it's me as a bad guy, me as a babyface, and me as a comedy act. Which doesn't matter if it's heel or face. It doesn't matter if it's a comedy act because it's just comedy, which is not just a throwaway line.
Right,
it's different. And so it's all right, you beat me up for a little bit, and I'm going to beat you up for a while, and then we'll do a million different falsies. Or how about this? If I'm a babyface, you beat me up immediately. I don't get anything in. And then the last few minutes we'll do some falsies. So that's me wrestling. So if anybody's watching this, anybody that's in the know, they're sounds like the shittiest match. How's this guy getting told he's a great storyteller? It's I don't know. That's my whole point. I don't know. I just kind of come up with some stupid ideas every now and then somebody takes them.
So where do you come up with these characters? Is it normally just film? Is this something that you've kind of read, or how do you normally come up with these guys?
Well, I mean, you got to be specific, on what guys.
Because I know you've been Centerfold, Matt Palmer's a crazy guy.
Well, the Centerfold was the first gimmick I ever did,
okay.
And it came about. I was just Matt Palmer, and if you know me, I hate being introduced as Matt Palmer because Matt Palmer is already bland. My name's bland, but I wanted to use it because it's my stepdad's name that I legally changed. It's I'm not changing it again for any reason.
Right.
And so Matt to me sounds like 15-year-old kids walking out.
Right.
And it's oh, there goes little Matty. Go get him, Matt. And I was well, thank you. We're gonna go get him, yay. And so it doesn't sound like a grown man's going into a fight. And so after turning 30, I was like, I don't want to be Matt Palmer. I want Matthew or just Palmer.
Right.
And so the centerfold gimmick was the first gimmick I ever had, and so I was just Matt Palmer, just some kid, and I was wrestling Robert Evans, who great dude. He's a writer for WWE now, but he's fantastic. He helped train me, and he was my tag partner for a while. So we were in this match, and it was 5 and Survive. You know about 5 and Survive,
yeah.
But for those that don't, it was this weekly show that built up or culminated in like 4 to 6 weeks to a cage match.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 4 different teams, and they had to win these random gimmick matches.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, I was wrestling Robert, and it was a pajama fight. Because we thought it'd be hilarious, the 2 comedy acts. I wasn't really a comedy act, I was just a pasty kid, but he was a comedy act. Would be in this ring with these Cirque du Soleil mats that they practice the acrobats on. In the ring, the entire thing's covered, and then there's like pillows and blankets and things everywhere.
Right.
And like, this is reserved for the Attitude Era women. This is where let's see the girls, let's see the butts. But instead it's these 2 like scrawny dudes that like very much drew a lot of the I guess you'd call it a twink audience of gay men. And I don't know if that's proper or not. I don't know the proper terminology. I hope it's not offensive. And so like that's very much what our characters were. And he came out in this Fred Mertz like 1940s, like full get up, and he had like the little hat and a little ball on. God. And I came out in silk boxers. But I had like 13 of them on. And so one of the spots was he'd pull one down, and I was like, whatever, and he'd pull another one down because he's trying to trip my feet. And I was like, hey, look, haha, your penis. And then like he'd do it, and after a while, I'd be like, oh, that's enough. And so that's Richard Hill, who writes for MPX now. This was PCW at the time, 13 years ago. And he saw it going on, what if we make you like a male model, centerfold type thing? And so that's the first thing I became. And I'd go up and sit in the front, I would stand on the apron, and I would reach in my pants like Zoolander, and I'd yank out another pair of boxers, and I'd throw them in the crowd. There's always Gladys, this very large woman, always wanted them. I saw her yank them out of somebody else's hands one time, and I was like, wow. The thing is, like, I was maybe 130 pounds, so if she wanted me, I had no choice. Thank God I was on the apron throwing underwear at her. Anyway, I forgot where we went with this subject, but that's basically the centerfold. Oh, that's right, you were asking me how I came up with these. So that was kind of like a Richard Hill type thing. Then the Son of Anarchy, which is a serial killer, it's basically is it Patrick Bateman from American Psycho? I think that's
Christian Bale, yeah.
It's basically that, but I was wrestling for a show called Anarchy Championship Wrestling in Austin, Texas. And I was the Son of Anarchy because, I don't know, I was dumb. I was still 130 pounds thinking I was a badass, and I wasn't. I carry around an axe. And like, some fan would be like, well, now use it. And I was like, oh, right. That's actual murder. You know what I mean? Like you're a much smarter person than I was, fan. And so like that gimmick went to the wayside. But my favorite thing was we had a little person, and he was dressed up as whatever different gimmick that night was, or well, that given show was. He'd do something, and one show I just picked him up. And I just disappeared with him. And we just said, oh man, he killed him. Just like, what? In a wrestling show, I just picked him up and murdered him. Yeah, so I have to use the axe off screen. I can't use it in front of people.
It's a whole Austin Triple H, like he picked up the car, and next thing you know, he just murdered him. And
except we're so bad, especially me, that we have to do it off screen because I can't. I chose an axe. I choose a shovel or a sledgehammer. It's more of a blunt object that maybe I can hit him with, or like a bat. No, I chose. I just go out there and choose a gun. Yeah, shoot him. Well, I'm gonna pistol whip him instead. No,
I'm gonna wrestle him just to let him know I mean business.
Stupid. I'm just a dummy. And so that gimmick was based off of that, and then the show stealer was just whatever. Here, wrestle.
Right.
Just go kill yourself for $30. That was show stealer. But my favorite characters are the ones I'm not allowed to ever do.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard a lot of these stories, and they're normally always hilarious.
Well, what
but it just it never just I've heard the one with you and I think it was like you come out and like Sammy Callahan just like loves you and like the boys in the back like really just like they always just when you come in.
Oh,
it was like him and Ricochet and they just throw stuff and everybody's like, who's this guy? And you're just like, I don't know, just here to wrestle.
I just sat there one night in Sammy Callahan's living room. We're probably Rich Swann, Sammy Callahan, Jason K, myself, and sometimes Ricochet and Shane Strickland would come over and we'd play video games. But it's mostly just those three and myself, and then Strickland and Trevor would show up. Trevor, Ricochet. And then we're just sitting there, we're playing like stupid video games, and like he wants to use me. Right. I'm like, whatever, man, wrestling's dumb. You shouldn't book me. You should use somebody good. And then like, he was like, come up with some ideas. And I was like, okay, how about this? How about you start interviewing like Billy Gunn? And then it's like Billy Gunn starts talking about me. It's like, okay, what's he gonna say? Or if you know Sammy Callahan, it's like, all right, what you gonna say? I don't have throat cancer. I can't do it. And so I already sound like a 10-year-old girl. But like, I can't even do the raspiness of Sammy Callahan. So he goes, okay, what's Billy gonna say? He's like, how about this? How about he starts talking about how I taught him the Famouser? Oh, God. And originally, I was going to be in the Smoking Guns, but I told WWF at the time that I couldn't do it because I had to go help, special needs kids in Africa or something like that. And then, like, he would just, they're constantly putting me over this benevolent veteran that helped them. And so, like, and then you have, like, Michael Elgin, and then you have Jimmy Jacobs, and like they would all just put over me in this way. And eventually, like anybody that was on like the indie scene at the times, I think Billy was out of WWE and he wasn't at AEW. It was way before AEW, and just all these stupid things. And then eventually that would lead to my debut at a show, whatever show.
Right.
But it had to be a show that some names were booked on because I wanted the fans to be like, who
the hell is this guy?
Who cares who this guy is? Like, who's this pasty, skinny, fat guy? Just like dime a dozen brown-haired white dude at 5'7". Like, who cares? And so I wanted that reaction from them, but I wanted the announcer to just like come running from the back. Like, we have a huge surprise for you. Oh my God! Like you got okay. This is rare. This is very rare. He is not helping the needy. He is not inventing something that's curing poverty. You know what I mean? Like, some stuff like that. And I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Palmer is here. And I was like, I know. It's a hush silence because, like, you're so stunned. I know. And like, the announcer would go crazy. It's like, but if we can coax him from the back, I know a lot of the boys in the back are trying to get autographs and things from him right now. And he hasn't wrestled in a long time because he's too busy teaching them how to work, A lot of them don't know how to work. And then, like, just stupid things like that. And then eventually I would kind of like nonchalantly like walk out, and then like, but like all the guys in the back, the locker room would empty out, and they'd be like throwing the confetti at me and the streamers, and the cameraman would drop the camera and hand me my 8x10, and I'd sign it for him, and I'd just give it, and like I want the fans to be like, who the fuck is this guy? And then like the match would start, and I was just like. And like everything I did was so lazy and so like I don't want to be here because it's very much like the veterans that I had to deal with growing up in wrestling. So anyway, I would nonchalantly go in there, whatever. I just have some BS match. Obviously, the other guy is far better than me and does everything, and I'd lose. Right. I'm like, I'm not going out there to winning. And then afterwards, the guy would beat me, and he would have like this Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair moment where he just tears and like hugs me. Thank you. And I was like, "You're welcome, kid." And as I leave, the boys come to the back and they just pick me up on my shoulders, and you never see me again, like ever. Like Sammy didn't like that part. It's like, why wouldn't you come back? It'd be so over. It's like, well, that's the mystique of the character. I want it to be like a year later. A character unmasked and it's me just slide a cigarette. It was me, Sammy. And I had that was one. And it never got off the ground because it's a lot of work.
It is a lot
It's
of
a
work.
lot of work,
So
and
funny.
you're asking the guys to do a lot when they really need to try to put together a match that sells the
Right.
Like if they're it's like because they're in the back in real life, they're like, who the fuck is this guy? This guy doesn't know who I am, so like he's not gonna remember me from any times when I ever shook his hand. So hi, I'm Matt.
He's like, yeah,
It's great.
you're that dude.
God, you're short. So another idea I had was a detective character.
Oh,
And this one, like, you think, okay, how is a detective character going to work in a wrestling show? And I think the only way it works is every now and then you'll see the referee fudge the 1, 2, 3.
Right.
And like, 1, 2, oh, she didn't kick out 3. Or like, 1, 2, 3, and the guy kicked out at 2, like, way ahead. And like, and fans, it takes them out of the element and they get disconnected and they get a little upset. And then they get mad at the ref and then it's just bullshit. So this detective character would pop up out of nowhere after one of those instances would happen, and basically he's like your typical 30s and 40s, like or 50s, like Maltese Falcon,
Right.
character. But he'd come out in the trench suit and the fedora, and he'd talk like this the entire time. And obviously he'd have a man's voice. And so, instead of talking out loud, it would all be over the overhead. And it would be somebody else's voice because it would be live, it would be pre-recorded. And like he would always talk to himself, like, and like how there's a big conspiracy because all started because of this 3 count. and I wanted it to be like this 3-week or 3-show thing where he always comes out. Maybe he has a pipe or a cigarette, and like the lights are real dim on him. He kind of raises his eyes up into the light at like the big key moment. And eventually it turns like this Perry Mason episode. If anybody had a dad who forced them to watch old shows like me, you know what Perry Mason is, you'll get it. It's that Perry Mason starts getting on a roll in the courtroom, and obviously his defendant didn't do it by now, and then somebody just jumps up and admits it. I did it! It was me! It's like, you couldn't wait. Like, why are you in the courtroom? You can't leave. And so, like, I want just a plant in the crowd, just be like, all right, it was me the entire time. And then, like, you'd stop and think about it, like, oh my god, that guy's in on the conspiracy. But you stop and think, like, no, what does he have to do with the referee? But it would always be this long, drawn-out, elaborate, just dumb storyline. Toward the point where, like, if a referee accidentally fudged it, like, 6 months later, you're like, 3, and the crowd would be like, oh! And there'd always be a trench coat and fedora on location, and somebody would always walk out and like, I knew this would happen again. It's stupid. It's the dumbest thing ever, and I love it.
But wrestling's really like that. Like, I mean, especially like if you can run a consistent show, or rather it's bi-weekly or monthly or weekly or whatever, like fans stick to that stuff because at the end of the day it's characters. So everybody just kind of loves a little character in the stick. So
yeah, I mean.
yeah, sure, whatever.
Sure,
yeah.
I mean.
We're gonna get back to the questions here. So, so from going from this Christian kid with a ton of ideas, like being a detective and being a serial killer male model, how did you actually end up getting into wrestling? From theater to wrestling.
Well, theater was to get over my shyness, but I wanted to be a wrestler since I was like 4.
Oh, really? Who was your guy?
Bret Hart was my guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I hated Shawn Michaels because Bret didn't like Shawn Michaels growing up. But as a wrestler...
Yeah! We love you, Bret.
And as a wrestler now, I'm like, oh man, they're both great. They're both awesome. And then the older I got, the more I like Chris Benoit. And like... Excuse me. Sorry, I'm drinking whiskey. I like Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
And then like the older you get, the more you kind of see what was going on. Is people are people; they're not saints. We elevate them too high. When they fall, we all kind of get crushed by it. I mean, that's all. Anyways, back to my story of wrestling.
His story.
Him and all that kind of stuff. They influenced me. Me and Jericho. They heavily influenced me into my style. So I became a theater guy to get over my shyness because I wanted to be a wrestler.
Right.
And you can't be like super shy as a wrestler.
Yeah.
So PCW wrestling show with my buddy, and Lance Hoyt had a video on the screen like, hey, you want to be a wrestler? I was like, oh, that's right. I had dreams.
Yeah.
As Jesse would say, I was bright-eyed.
Right. Shout out to Lance Hoyt. Good guy. Great guy.
He's all right. No, I love Lance. Lance is a good guy. Lance is good people. I mean, he ain't shit compared to me, but he's a. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Lance Hoy is so much better than me at everything. Yeah, so I went there at PCW, started training, and 13 years later, oh, this is my wife.
Because you guys actually met there at a PCW.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we met in a training class, and I shared this with a guy who was writing an article with her at the Miami Herald, and I forgot how non-wrestling people would see this as not a cutesy story,
Right.
but like wrestlers and wrestling fans would be like, "Oh, how cute! That's how they started flirting with each other."
Right.
Well, that's why I flirted. She hated me. So, we had to do this training drill, just give one, take one.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, she gave me 3 moves, and I would give them right back to her
Yeah.
after. And I think she gave me like, the first one was like, she gave me a snapmare and a kick, like a little spinal tap type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a big chip on her shoulders. And she was like 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like a year or 2 older than her. Yeah, 2 years older than her. And she had a chip on her shoulders, and she's working with all the guys. She's training with guys. She's like,
Age is very competitive.
well, she's also got dealt with that like women shouldn't wrestle type BS, and so she just kicked the life out of me. And I'm 130 pounds. At the time. You can just see like the sweat just got off of me. It's the shape of my body. It looked like I was just a ghost. And that. She's mean. She's strong and mean. So she does that, and then she like picks me up and like slams me, or she clothesline me. I can't remember the second move, but the last one's a drop kick.
Mm-hmm.
And the select few people that know me are like, that's the one thing I got.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like, these guys are beating the hell out of me, I'm gonna drop kick them, because I got a pretty good drop kick in your face. Or your ribs if you put your hand. Change it real quick. That's all I got. So Lance was like, he was trying to embed in me, and he's like, you match the work that they're doing.
Right.
If they're super light with you, then you're light back.
Right.
But if they're hitting the hell out of you, hit them back. And I wasn't thinking, oh, this is a woman.
Right.
I was just thinking, oh, it's a training class.
Exactly.
I didn't think.
It was a competitor.
I didn't think of sexual genitalia.
Yeah.
And so I snap-married her, and I kicked the shit out of her in the back. Picked her up into the second move, and then the drop kick. She's only 5'1",
Right.
and I'm a short guy to begin with, but I'm not 5'1".
Right.
And so, springy legs, young me, just like I almost jumped over her, just like wham right in the face. And I get up, we pair off, and Lance is laughing because Adrian gets on the street, just murder me. She's ready to go, and Lance is like, okay, that's enough. And I'm like, okay, thank you. I'm just like, okay, I thought that was a drill. I'm sorry.
Right.
And so like I tell that to people, and like Twitter blows up because I spoke.
You hit a woman, Matthew.
How dare you hit a woman?
How dare you treat her as an equal individual?
How dare you hit your wife before you guys started dating in a training class for simulated actual fighting where you have to actually hit each other?
Oh yeah, and you know, I mean, dude, and just for record, you know, I've trained with Adrian. She will beat the hell out of you. She's
mean,
you know,
man.
She's mean, man. All that aggression, man. Sweetest girl in the world, but she can be mean. Love you, Adrian.
It's.
I was saying that's what she doesn't kill me.
Yeah.
She loves you. She'll kill me.
So yeah, that's what sparked our relationship, and I was maybe a year in. She was 2 years in, or maybe I can't remember the time frame. I've been hitting the head a lot. I don't know if you know this.
Same.
So that happens, but we don't start dating until much later. I've been wrestling 13 years. We've been together almost 10. So we started dating for 3 years. And that's her story to tell if she wants to tell it. It's basically just me going like, I really hope she's single one day. I really would like to hang out with her. Does she like flowers? She doesn't. So that happens, and then I start traveling. Basically, I trained for 2 months before Lance started putting me on shows.
Nice.
But I was still acting at the time, so it was real sporadic. But I was still training, so I started going on all these shows, and maybe that's why I never got to develop a cruiserweight style because my trainer was 6'7", like 250 pounds, and then I started working with guys, and I was the jobber, you know. I think for 2 years before I got a win on all these shows, and which is I personally believe is the way to do it. And he probably should have been doing it still because you know. Anyway, so yeah, that's my wrestling. Essentially, that's my wrestling life. Early on, I met my wife. Best day ever. Next to my wedding to her, and then like 10 years later, just kind of still here. Just like.
So who being wrestling being a wrestler for so long and working for so long, who are some of your favorite guys to work?
Currently or like ever?
Just ever.
I like Greg James, unholy Greg James.
Greg and him started out together. Good guy.
I think I like him the most work-wise, outside of just liking him as a person, is because I kind of took him under my wing. Probably made him worse. Probably made him look shitty. But like we worked very similar, and so we were able to trust each other. Going like, "Do you mind trying this out tonight?" It's like, "What is it?" It's this. I'm like, just give it to me in the match. Because if we go for practice, I'll poon out because there's no crowd. If the crowd's there, then I'm forced to do it, and then if I die, I die. Barrett Brown, I love Barrett Brown. I remember having like one of his earlier matches, and I saved his life on a tombstone. Tombstone, I have him. You're supposed to tuck your chin. I dropped to my knees, and he just looked up. And so he's about to just see the canvas, and I was like, "Duh!" Just raising him. It was an awful match. I suck as a wrestler, and so I should have done that to him. I love Barrett Brown. Andy Dalton's one of my favorite opponents, and he is just as #dirty. He's probably dirtier in real life than he is in the ring.
Shout out to Andy. Not shout out to Andy.
Oh, you can shout him out. And then JT LaMotta, I love him. Robert Evans, I mentioned him. Hoyt, I love those guys. No, I'm trying to think. Today, guys are like names. I like working with Callahan sometimes.
Why sometimes?
It's sometimes because it depends on the character dynamic. If it's heel or face, it really changes. Got you. And it's not work rate wise. It's just like my beliefs in this psychology versus his. And he's obviously more successful, so I should just go with his. Him, Joey Ryan. I love Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan and Orange Cassidy are my favorite workers. Orange Cassidy just because like he just makes me smile.
Cassidy's fun.
I just see him do his shtick, and like at one point it took a while for them to realize, he was like one of the ants from Chikara, right? And I was like, oh my god, he was so good as an ant too. Like, he was just, it was just like House of Fire fun, and then he goes to be lethargic, too cool for school.
It's so funny because I've watched some of his work, and I was like, dude, there's a lot of similarities between him and Palmer. I'm like, good God.
Well, he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I know, absolutely.
I'm just...
You're just that way. And I go, I was like, dude, I was like, man, I don't know if you ever heard of him. He was like, but a friend Matt Palmer, man. I was like, you guys are, very similar, I kind of dig the vibe. And he was like, Palmer? So yeah, I know that cat. He's a cool cat. So like, and immediately in my mind, I was like, how much money do I have to give to see that match?
We would have to be a tag team.
Yes.
We couldn't wrestle each other.
Oh my God, yes.
And at the same time, I look at it going, as a person who's helped write shows, I would not pay for me if I already have Orange Cassidy. Why water down the product by adding Matt Palmer to this stick? But if we had to wrestle, it'd be awful. I would be blown during my entrance.
It would be so entertaining, though.
He's just being real cool, and Rex stays cool and just lazy in the shtick, and I'm just kind of winded before the tie-up.
Right.
So, like, we both kind of like...
It would be the funniest thing I've ever seen.
We'd both go for a shoulder tackle, and it would take 10 minutes because we'd both go in slow motion. It wouldn't even be a slow-mo spot. We would just kind of go in slow motion. We'd gingerly tap shoulders.
No, I know anybody just watching the match for the first time would kind of be like, what? But if you've seen, you know, if anybody's seen your work and his work and it kind of just comes together, like, people lose their minds like, this is great.
It's either that or I would Shawn Michaels the hell out of it. If I took some pre-workout before and I knew my heart wasn't going to explode from my first time working out that year, it would be like Orange Cassidy like lackadaisically like hits the shoulder tackle and I just launch myself back behind the curtain.
Oh my god!
And I have to make a whole different entrance.
You're the Shawn Michaels Hogan.
Yeah, it's like the sarcastic selling. Oops, sorry. I would do that. Joey Ryan, I love working with Joey Ryan. I knew that I started getting like really skinny fat because I just kind of drank too much and it didn't work out. When I wrestled Joey Ryan, and I got exhausted. To be fair, we were driven about 40 hours on very little sleep.
Right.
Basically just eating Skittles and gum to stay awake.
It is such a shoot when you're on the road. Oh my
Red
god!
Bull's just trying to, not
Stay
die.
up.
So I think we drove from Orlando to Iowa, and then Iowa to Miami, which is 3 hours.
God.
3 or 4 hours past Orlando.
Oh god!
And we still had
That's
to go
such a long
home.
drive.
And then, and Summers and Joey, and I'm just getting tired. And like, it's Joey Ryan. You're not doing anything.
Right.
He's like, I'll do whatever you want. The only thing I can't do is I'm not going to sell my dick. Obviously, Joey, I know you bought a $500,000 house with your penis, so obviously I'm not going to hit it and make you sell.
Right.
And so, like, by the time it's time for me to touch his balls, wrestling.
It's wrestling. It's a stick. It's a thing. Watch his video.
So I have to, and I'm actually grabbing them. Which is
Joey Ryan. Watch his video.
I'm actually grabbing his junk because like I don't know. That's just the way it is for me. And I'm like,
so you're gonna shoot on him.
And just the flex thing is like, ah. I'm just like winded. It's like I gotta work out. I gotta get tired. I am not 130 pounds at this point. I'm way over that. Yeah, those are the guys I enjoyed working. And there's guys that I'll watch and going like, oh, they're all exceptional. Just about every person on TV is just far and away better than me. I'm just watching and going like, you all deserve to be there. I'm gonna be envious of it, but you all deserve to be there. I hate you all. I want your jobs, but at the same time, I don't want to put any effort.
Right.
I'm just too lazy. I have to work out how many times with the PC? No, thank you. Not that they even heard of me, but like, no, thank you.
Right. So are you still like, doing some things with theater? Do you still write, or is there anything as a hobby, or is it just all D&D?
It's all D&D. I really wish the camera could see my setup here. No, it's all D&D. Some video game stuff. I have cryptocurrency stuff that I got into early on, so was a real financial boost.
Because I've actually seen, if I'm not mistaken, Xavier Woods and Up Up Down Down. Shout out to those guys. They do like a bunch of D&D stuff. I normally see you, normally.
That's her channel. Yeah,
and stuff like that. Usually a bunch of D&D stuff. Like what got you into it?
Well, Adrian and I were at Richard Hill's house.
Yeah, shout out to Richard Hill, good guy.
Yeah, and so it doesn't matter who you're gonna say. I'm gonna say that.
Right.
Shout out to Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
Sure, I heard she did some bad things.
You're the one guy that I heard she did some stuff like.
I Winter. It's my cat Winter.
All that Winter.
She's named after Game of Thrones season, although it's a normal season.
Yeah, it's a normal season now. Yeah. Good show.
I just now realized that your name's stupid. I'm sorry, sweetie, but I love you. So yeah, Richard Hill. We're just sitting at the house and we're just kind of bored, and Richard kind of looks over like, "You guys want to learn to play D&D?" I was like, "You guys want to try drugs the first time?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, man." I mean, he could have said drugs. We're like, "Yeah, sure, man. I'm so bored." So yeah, he taught us how to play D&D in the second edition, AD&D, Dungeons and Dragons. And then Jesse came along. I think Jesse might have actually been there, and we all played, and that was our core group.
No.
Myself, Jesse, and Adrian playing, and I'd always be a thief or a fighter. Jesse would always be a fighter, and Adrian would always be a magic user.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd usually have to do classes of mage priest. And I know you know nothing about this. I'm kind of rambling about it. But basically, she was the only one that could heal us if we took damage.
Right.
But at the same time, because of her magic abilities, she liked to cast fireballs. Because apparently she's an arsonist when she's in the game.
It's fine. I'm the same way in Kingdom Hearts. I just set everybody on fire.
Yeah, and so I don't know how it is in Kingdom Hearts. I think it's one player, right?
Yeah. One player.
I never really like Disney games for some reason.
Yeah. I know D&D's the original RPG. Like, you know. Old
I'm pretty
school
sure.
power.
I'm pretty sure it's the original. I can't remember. And so she would cast a fireball, and basically it's just this, I don't know, like a pea size fireball that just explodes. You know? I think it's pea. shape. The problem is, like, Jesse and I are fighters, so we were in the thick of it. We were swords, and so it's like you and me, and she's so far away, she's so many feet away.
Just fireball.
She goes, Richard, I fireball them, and we're like, you're gonna kill us. And then she goes, don't worry, I can bring you back. And we're like, you're not high enough level. Too late, fireball. And Richard was not like this whole like, he was all about friendly fire.
Right.
He was like, it wasn't like a video game where like you can send like a nuke or whatever, and like it's not gonna hurt your party members.
Right.
Like, no, I took the damage.
Right.
But every single time, and I'm talking, this is 3 years of playing with these same characters, of this happening constantly. She stuck to the character dynamic. She kept that going. She was great. My character never died. He never actually got knocked out ever.
Right.
I couldn't tell you how many times he went down to 1 HP. And there's more stuff you gotta roll, but the house rules, we just allowed it, you know. And I would just be dragging Jesse's lifeless corpse back to her, and she wouldn't resurrect him. It wasn't exactly lifeless. She wouldn't resurrect him. She'd heal him back until she eventually got to the port where she was able to resurrect dead people.
Right.
And then, holy shit, did
she go crazy with fireball
at all? Because then when she said, I can bring you back, she meant it. And I was like, please stop killing my friend. And at this point, about a year or two, not about a year in, I hated my character.
Oh my god.
And so it's like, kill him. And Richard was like, you can't change it, the dynamic's too good. My character was always the guy, like, I'll give you an example. Richard eventually wanted to make all of our characters gods.
Right.
Like, we are so heroic and so powerful, we basically just ascended.
Right.
Except me. Which, by the way, at the very end of this campaign, they basically die.
Oh my god.
But their spirits ascend. I'm the last one standing, and I'm fighting the big bad. Which, by the way, they did a story where they all thought I was the evil. I was fighting for an evil god, but it turned out I wasn't. I was totally just bad luck.
just the bad luck.
He's sabotaging our flying carpets. We can't get to the destination. I'm just asleep. You know, he's the one ripping them up. It wasn't me at all. It was just something else.
Jesus
and
Christ.
so, yeah, my character basically just goes on to like become a general, and then like a month later, my entire army dies but me. I'm like, I'm the shittiest general too. so yeah, that's D&D with Adrian and Jesse.
So what, just getting to wrap this up, what future shows are you kind of working or do you have coming up or anything you're looking forward to in wrestling?
None. Any of them. No, I have...
the true optimist. Oh my god.
I have Revolver in Des Moines, Iowa on May 10th.
I've seen a lot of work with that.
Yeah. And it's my favorite thing to do because in this day and age, people are so athletic and they're so gifted. And every match is just insane and fun. And then I go out there like, I can't do any of that. Watch this. And I am the most sniveling, chicken shit coward ever. All these other guys, who's the bad guy? Well, he's the bad guy. He does a 630. He's like, what? You're the bad guy. Like, God, he's so much better than me. And like, everything athletic. And he's like, oh yeah? I'll show you what a real bad guy is. And like, I do everything else. I'm basically just like,
every cartoon. People paying you like, yeah, they're paying to see the show. I'm like, yeah, fight. And you're like, no, I'm not fighting.
Exactly. Like, why would I? I think I've had a promo where I talk about how smart I am. No, it wasn't a promo. I was just yelling at fans. I was just yelling at fans.
You're
One guy complains like, you didn't do any moves. How'd you win that match? Because I'm a genius. And literally, that person's right. I didn't do a single move that match. I choose the shows that I feel like I can perform on and do well and people be entertained. Yeah, but like you're not gonna see me pop up at like ROH or PWG because there's so many better people that deserve that spot, like those Barrett Browns, Greg's, and Andy Dalton, all those guys, like Ryan Remington, those guys, they all deserve those spots because they've earned it and they can physically do it. I can't really physically hang those guys, so I try to do character stuff. So yeah, anyway, sorry, long story short, I ramble every time. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's completely fine.
May 10th, Revolver, just about every Saturday at MPX, or 3 times a month. And then DFW All Pro on March 29th.
Well, let them know where they can find you on Twitter, Instagram.
Don't find me. Leave me alone. On Twitter and Instagram, it is Palmer is Lost. And Facebook is here. Twitter and Instagram. Twitter specifically, I am in character. So basically, it's just me being a sniveling jerk. And so like, don't think it's me in real life because if I quit wrestling, Twitter would be gone. I wouldn't know how to handle Twitter at that point, 'cause all my social media is just me looking at kittens.
Palmer's Lost does sound accurate.
Palmer's Lost. Yeah, people are like, what does that even mean? It's like, I don't know, man. It's kind of lost right now. So yeah, so if you, as a wrestling fan, find me on Twitter. I'll be in character. As a person who loves cats and kittens, Facebook and Instagram. I think my Facebook is Matthew Palmer.
Yeah, there's Matthew Palmer.
Yeah, and it's the one of me wearing like a leather vest and glasses. It's not the one that says like account no longer in use because that one got hacked.
Oh god.
Oh, and I was like, that's not me. That is not me. Please God, that's not me.
That's terrible. That is god awful.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No
thank you for actually being on the show.
Problem.
Thank
you.
You have been highly, mentioned by, everyone else that we've kind of done reviews. I was like, who do you like? And they go, Matt Palmer. So he was like, oh yeah, who do you want to wrestle in the future? Matthew Palmer.
Who says that? They're morons.
And if you, of course, and if you like more content, more videos like this, please like, share, and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram at brothers_perspective and Twitter at bros perspective. And until then, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Peace. Wait a minute.